So I've heard that Max is expecting a very strong slugfest in this fight, and I heard that you are preparing to go a little bit more natural in this fight. What is your strategy? What are you going to bring up to the octagon in this fight? I've wanted to fight Holloway forever, and whenever I imagine me fighting Holloway, I also expect a slugfest to happen. We are both fighters are going to be worn out to the very bottom, so it's going to be a very fun fight.
Next question, please. Yes.
Testing, testing. The question is, this fight is a good risk to reward for Korean Zombie because you're ranked 8 and he's ranked 1. If you beat him, what's next for you? Is it another a shot at the title?
I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I mean, it's very difficult for a fighter to kind of acknowledge that one's career has ended. So I'll have to see how well I fight in the octagon. I'll have to assess myself on this fight and then decide what's going on next. So you have 2 days to go for the fight. Compared to when this fight came out official and compared to right now, what kind of change in mindset do you feel right now? I mean, you look very bright at the moment. Please explain how your mindset has changed from the day this fight became official to this moment where you have 2 days left. I respect Max. He's a living legend. He's a legend in this division, and I fought every legend here in this division. I fought Jose Aldo. I fought Volkanovski. So, I have nothing but respect for Max, but just because I respect him, I'm not going to go easy on him. I expect to win this fight. I'm going to go hard on him, so it's going to be a fun fight.
And based on your last answer, how do you beat a guy like Holloway? Both of you obviously have a lot of endurance. You don't go down in a fight very often. So what are the keys to victory? How do you beat somebody like Max Holloway?
A lot of people do ask the same question because both of us are all very durable. People ask me, how am I going to beat Holloway? I think the key to this fight is cardio. It's about who gets tired less and who has better cardio. So, in my training, in my fight camp, that's what I focused on mainly to improve my cardio. So I think that would be the key to winning the fight.
안녕하세요. 네.
I'll translate the question first. So it's your 10th main event and 10 main events in a row. I mean, does that work as any kind of pressure to you? And compared to the first main event you had, how different is it, in terms of your mindset and how you feel? So I was actually talking to Sting while signing the posters together with him during check-in. In my first main event, it was so everything was so great for me. I collected all the posters, the things that came in my fight kit. Everything was so surprising and great. But then right now, I don't really feel anything special because it's my 10th main event. But then I talked to Sting, and Sting was kind of he was looking up to me. He said he was inspired by me, so I felt that I was in a very great position, and I'm thankful that I could be the main event guy for 10 cards in a row. And I mean, looking back in the past, I've created a legacy fighting in 10 main events, so I'm thankful for that. And I want other Korean fighters to come up in the UFC and build legacies just like I did here.
What would a win mean for you and the whole country of Korea?
If I win this fight, it would mean that the #1 featherweight fighter in the world, lives in Korea and is from Korea, and that would be a big inspiration to other Korean MMA fighters. And I'm being totally honest, but all Korean fighters should walk the path that I have walked right now. It's not that they have to fight like me, they have to act like me, but the careers that I had, the legacies that I've built, all Korean fighters should look up to this and try to follow the path that I have walked. I mean, I've made the path much more easier to walk for them. It's time for them to follow my path.
This is almost the same question. Next question.
I asked Holloway a few minutes ago. After your Dan Ige fight, you you said during the press conference that Holloway doesn't have punching power. Do you still think that way?
Mm,
While training, I learned that timing beats power. Timing is more important than the actual punching power. But after the Dan Ige fight, I really wanted the Holloway fight, so I had to call him out and make him mad for something. But the punching power was the only thing I could criticize, only thing I could think of. So I thought of that on the spot and called him out, saying he doesn't have punching power.
Andrew.
You were given the zombie nickname early on in your career, which is a big compliment to your toughness. Is there any fighter out there in the UFC who you think would also deserve such a moniker? Maybe Max himself?
Actually, I do think Max fits the zombie nickname because he's never been knocked out. He's never even, slightly wobbled himself after a punch. So I think, the word zombie really fits Max.
Are we looking at a fight of the year here, maybe?
If the fight goes as I expected and planned, then 100%.
100%.
We spoke to Giga earlier, and he said there was a bit of beef between you two because of a fake tweet, but now everything's cool. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, actually, I met Giga in Singapore, and I told him that the tweet was fake and told him to trust me, and he said, okay. I mean, if you look at the tweet, the fake tweet, it looks really real. I mean, I looked at it and thought, I would believe it. Also, it looked that real. So I talked to Giga, but I'm not the kind of person that would insult someone's parents or throw mean insults at fighters just to make a scene. So I told Giga, and he said okay.
We've seen the same guys fight for the belt quite often in this division with Max and Volk. Do you think we need some freshness in the division? Aljamain Sterling has said that he wants to move up. Would you welcome that? And should he fight for the belt right away? Where would you put him in this division?
Right now, I don't really think there are any fighters that could beat Volkanovski. I fought him myself, and standing across the octagon, I thought he was a really good fighter, which never really happens to me. I never really think that my opponent is good during a fight. But then Volkanovski is getting older, and there are younger fighters coming up the ranking. I mean, there's Ilya, so I don't think it's going to take long for Volkanovski to come down from the throne.
So of course, you have to focus on your fight, but we will have a road to UFC on Sunday. So what do you expect, not only the Korean fighter, but also the young prospect in Asia for grow MMA up in Asia?
I don't think there is like an answer in the sport of MMA, but then I do believe that the Western countries are slightly more developed in terms of like MMA sport techniques and whatnot compared to Asian countries. If I look at Asian countries like Japan, Korea, China, they have their own ways of doing things, and it's difficult for them to think out of the box at the moment. So it's not like I'm telling them to go to the U.S. and then just do whatever they're told to do, but then keep an open mind, go to other places, learn new things, and then try to find what's best for you and customize all these strategies to your own needs. If that happens, and fighters keep an open mind and take this as a sport and think of themselves as an athlete instead of just like fighters, then I think Asian fighters do have a great chance in making good careers in the UFC.
고맙습니다.